In this hand, you're playing a $95 super satellite, but you're a ways away from the payout. So you're just trying to accumulate chips at this point. So you have King 7 offsuit here versus a pretty good aggressive player who raises from the cutoff. What would you like to do here in the big blind? You go ahead and call. And on the board comes 8 of clubs, 3 of hearts, 9 of hearts. It's on you. Check or bet. You check here, and this player bets 3.47 big blinds. It is on you. Fold, call, or raise. That's it. Time's up. We raise here to 12.68 big blinds, and villain 25 calls. The turn is the 5 of clubs. It's on you. Check or bet. Okay. Time is up. You bet 15.36 big blinds here into 30.71. Villain 25 calls. And the river is the 3 of diamonds. It is on you. Check or bet. Just a few more seconds. Okay, pencils down. We should just go ahead and push him in. And he does go ahead and fold. So what's going on in this hand? Now, you could be forgiven for not wanting to fire down, but it works a lot. So I definitely like the play. So on this flop, we check and he fires, and we check raise because there's a lot of cards that are good for us on the turn. But more importantly, obviously a turn 10, 6, heart does help us keep firing. But more importantly, when we check raise there and he calls, we can start ruling out certain hands. So a lot of the combo draws would raise again just because they have so much equity. Sets, when they see flush draws and straight draws out there, probably would raise again. Just going, okay, let's get the money in right now. A lot of the times, 2 pair, 8, 9 would want to do the same thing. So what our opponent has a lot of the time here is just one pair that's holding on for dear life. Like, I don't honestly think with the flush draws and straight draws out there, a lot of the under pairs fold you. And I think a lot of 8x calls you, a lot of 9x calls you. And it's a lot easier to make some random. The average player now raises so much from the cutoff and calls these check raises so wide. It is far more likely to have some Jack 9 offsuit or 10-9 offsuit than they used to. It's far more likely they have hands like that than they used to. It's very likely there's a lot of suited connectors that's somewhat connected, lot of middling pocket pairs and whatnot. And uh, draws obviously go ahead and call you. Now on the turn, we fire again because, well, it really sets up a river jam. And now when they call, certainly 6-7 most likely you're blocking that, but 6-7 would almost certainly move all in on you right now because of the multiple flush draws. And we already discussed sets in 2 pairs, but they'd really, if they were trapping you, they probably would not want to call because a lot of cards are pretty bad on this river. Any club, any heart, uh, obviously a queen and whatnot. So the river's a blank. And here's the deal. He does have some ace high flush draws that beat you at showdown. Like, it wouldn't be inconceivable for them to bet call ace 7 of clubs on the flop or ace X of hearts on the flop. So if we shove, we get those hands to fold. And also, this is not the easiest call to make with a 9 or an 8 because your play the way you've played this hand looks a lot like nines full or eights full, because a lot of times sets would check raise on this board with the flush draws and straight draws. Now, it's also a lot of people would just go ahead and check call with their hard draws. They're out of position, so maybe they don't think they're beating that hand as much, but that's kind of getting into the weeds. What really, this is honestly a little out there. It's certainly not fun jamming rivers when there's a multitude of misdraws, because sometimes people use that as an excuse to call with mediocre pairs. But if you think you've got a good thinking player there, a lot of the times they will say to themselves on the river, okay, this could be a bluff, but maybe I'll wait for a better spot, because really I'm just sitting here with my mediocre pair. I think that I do beat a draw, but maybe draws would just check call. They're out of position. I'm really only beating a bluff. I don't know if I like this spot. When we jam that river, it looks like, of course, it's a river jam. So we think, oh my God, this needs to work all the time. This is a very dramatic play, but we're risking, he only has about 55 big blinds there on the river, and we're shoving into a 61 big blind pot. So this bet needs to work less than 50% of the time. So if you think you're getting a fold 60% of the time, you got to follow through right there. And I think you're probably achieving that. That still means 4 times out of 10, you're going to look pretty ridiculous with your king high there, but such is life. And that's, if you want to play more aggressive poker and you want to start pursuing players that are calling down a little too wide and putting pressure on them, that's a fine place to start. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you for tuning into this. If you want to get more training content just like this, go to pokerheadrush.com. That website, one more time, is pokerheadrush.com. See you for the next one of these. Thank you for tuning in. Take care.